favorite meal
Well, I know that. Where are you now?
ever.
Where are you guys?
Until the first day. In the
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. He's not here.
Welcome to tonight's city council
He's
meeting.
here.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Diana?
Present.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Present.
Councilperson Guerrero? Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Present.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Present.
And Councilperson Velez Garcia? We have quorum. Next item on the agenda, under number 2, is the Pledge of Allegiance.
You didn't call my name.
Oh, sorry, Councilperson President Third.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
The next item on the agenda, under number 3, is public comment.
And no one has signed up.
Next item on the agenda, under number 4, approval of records, is meeting minutes from December 9, 2024 council meeting.
Has the council members reviewed the minutes of December? Are there any questions, corrections, additions? Hearing none, seeing none, looking for a motion to approve.
So moved. I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0. The next item on the agenda, under number 5, is executive communication. Executive Order 2025-0001, appointment of Monty Pineda as acting director of Parks and Recreation for the city of Central Falls.
Looking for a motion to approve.
Second.
No,
This is executive order.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just receive it.
Oh, okay, thank you. So we see.
Next item on the agenda under executive communication, under B, is consideration of appointment by Mayor Maria Rivera of Monte Pineda, 135 Summit Street, Central Falls, as Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Central Falls.
And that's also received, and I'd like to look for a motion to accept that. Thank you. Congratulations, well deserved. I can't say enough about the work you do. I've seen your work. Thank you. I think it's a great promotion.
I would like to give Mavi a
And
chance
you're
to
also
answer any.
replacing a nice shirt.
Yes, exactly. Answer any questions. I did want to take one moment. Normally, when the applicant shows up, I don't feel the need to offer any preface, but on behalf of the mayor, I did want to say, though, that the adjective that we usually use when we're introducing a new person is we have confidence in this person, and our confidence in Mavi is total. But the other adjective that I know the mayor uses and that I use and everybody in City Hall uses is we're also very excited, right? Because not only does Mavi absolutely deserve this as a longtime member of this community and member of our City Hall staff, but following in Alberto's shoes, we think that she can even take this department to even greater heights. So on behalf of the mayor, not only do we have complete confidence in Mavi, but we're also incredibly excited for her to have this opportunity. That said, I did want to give her a chance to answer the questions.
I'm going to add a word, confidence plus.
Yes, exactly.
US.
Just want to say thank you for the opportunity to all council members. I look forward to working with you guys and continue bringing our city forward. So, thank you.
Any questions?
I want to say something to the president. I want to say, Mavi, thank you for your hard work for the last 1 year under my board as Park Recreation Director. I know you are ready for doing the best for this community. You are the passion, like me, who can work for Central Falls moving forward. Thank you for your job. The best for you in this next 1 year. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Also, if I
Thank you,
may,
Mr. President.
Mr. President, I wanted to just sort of echo that. I've seen Mavi since think since she graduated high school, saw her go through Parks and Rec, in the previous administration, as an intern, as a volunteer, and just have seen the growth, I think, both professionally and personally. And so, I'm really excited that the department will have your leadership. I think you also bring a unique perspective, and yeah, so just very excited, that you will be leading the department.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to, approve this, appointment.
Do we have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda under C is consideration of appointment by Mayor Maria Rivera of Matthew Twig Largis, 7395 Post Road, North Kingston, as a Central Falls Tree Warden, with the term set to expire January 13th, 2026.
I just wanted to check, I believe that's a reappointment, correct? He's been,
Correct.
at
That is correct.
that position for a number of years, and
Yes.
I can speak for him, and, certainly done the job over the years, he knows what he's doing, and, he's a good candidate.
I would agree with that, Council President. Council may recall that we did vote on this last year. State law actually requires that they be recertified every year through the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management, which is every year, which is why this comes up again this year. He's not able to attend today, but I can also echo the Council President, working in the administration, working with Twig directly. He's involved in some of our new high school planning, and brings passion to the city, and also a level of expertise owning a tree company.
Certainly knows.
Yeah, I would also add, I know we had a tree warden house recently, and it was nice to see him
Yeah.
there as well, so, would like to see him a little bit more, but I know that he does bring, the expertise and the passion, so I'll.
At no cost, I would
Right.
add.
I would make a motion to reappoint him.
I'll
as
second.
our tree warden.
I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Perry.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. The next item on the agenda under D is Department Financial Reports for December 2024. City Clerk's Office, Department of Public Works, Code Enforcement, Fire Department, and Police Department.
Has the council members reviewed the, financial reports?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a question, Mr. President, if I may. I think I asked this before, but just wanted to elevate it again, so hopefully we can have an update, for the next meeting, but, on the police department reports, just wondering about the traffic fines and if that includes speeding and red light cameras. And if not, if we could have the, actuals for, since inception. For that, I know it's not meant to be a revenue
Yeah.
thing, but would love to know just how that, what's coming in from that.
So you're looking for the breakdown of traffic and red light cameras, sorry.
Yes.
Can we get that?
Thank you.
Anyone else, any of the departments? Hearing none, seeing none, looking for a motion to approve, the departmental reports collectively. We'll do a collection. We have a motion by Lou.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Perry.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda under 6 is new business. Under A, Central Falls Lead Prevention Program presentation by Heidi Silverio, Program Director of the Housing and Lead Prevention.
Is this a new agenda item?
Yes, there was an agenda provided for you today. This presentation is added today.
Thank you, welcome.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here. Like I said, my name is Heidi Silverio, and I'm the director of the Lead Prevention Program here in Central Falls. And I'm here just to give you guys a little update about what we're doing in our program and a little bit of background about what is lead and what we're doing here in the city. So a little bit about what is lead and why it's dangerous. As you know, lead is a toxic metal that can be found in most pre-1978 homes, and where we see that it's most dangerous is where it's affecting young children and pregnant women. This is because it is affecting their developmental stages, so it affects their nervous systems, their brain development, it affects behavior issues. It's been linked to ADHD cases, learning development cases. So these are things that affect children for the entirety of the rest of their lives. So that's why we focus more of our attention on young children and pregnant women, because they're in those developmental stages. And we have some emphasis on adults. It's very rare that that happens, but some of the fatalities that happen is a stroke or heart disease. So these are the reasons why it's so dangerous and why we're doing this type of work. Where do you find lead? This is also information that we have on flyers that we give out to our constituents, and this is also information that we have in the Department of Public Works for our constituents and residents to have this. But where we find it is in our paint, our water, and our dirt. We look for chipping, peeling paint. That's a sure sign that there's lead. And again, in most pre-1978 homes, we look at the water. There's water testing that you can do to see that if there are lead pipes in your property and soil around your home. So we have done various programs here. We have a program that we're working with the EPA this year to do some soil lead testing. We have some videos with Mayor Rivera talking about how to test soil around your home, because these are important places where children and young kids play around. You know, you have the paint, the water, and the dirt. Kids are playing outside. Kids are touching the walls, putting paint in their mouth, and we use the water to drink and to make food. So this is what led the government to then create some laws and started the advocacy around lead. So a little background of where we take laws and regulations and do the work that we do. So in 1978, the federal government actually banned the consumer use for lead-based paint in residential and commercial homes. Again, this sparked a movement for banning lead in homes, and right here in our own state, in 1991, we had set standards for lead inspections and lead abatement. And then in 2002, our big act that passed was the Rhode Island Lead Hazard Mitigation Act. This act established the requirements for rental housing units that were built before 1978. And so after these regulations, both federal and state happened, it was up to municipalities and cities to now enforce and enact these laws, which is where our program was born, which is the Central Falls Lead Prevention Program. So our mission here is to create safer and healthier environments for our most vulnerable constituents, which are children and families. We do this through education, advocacy, and collaborations with local and state partners. And it is our commitment to empower our community with resources, knowledge, and a proactive solution to help build a lead-safe and a lead-free Central Falls. And we do this in 3 ways. So first, we have our housing and our code enforcement. We then provide education, and we have outreach events. And then finally, we work with our partners on getting resources for our constituents and our landlords here in the city. So a little bit about what our housing and code enforcement does. We're actually one of the only cities that do proactive enforcement of these lead violations. What that means is we have a list of houses that 1, are rental, 2, don't have certificates, and 3, were built before 1978. And every month we send out letters to these landlords telling them that they're not in compliance with the law and that we need to do something about that. Because again, what our mission is in this program is lead abatement. After we send out that first letter of notice of violation, usually landlords will come in and they will comply. Most landlords don't even know that this law exists, and this is something that they have to do, which is our education component. We connect them with inspectors, we connect them with resources, and we figure out how we can help them make sure that their units are safe for our residents here in Central Falls. Once a landlord doesn't comply, is when we take them to housing court, which is the next step in our process. Through this process, we do compliance plans, we make sure we put pressure, and we try to use fines to make sure that we're getting our landlords to come into compliance with this law. But again, we try not to fine because the end goal is the lead certificate to make sure that these houses are safe for our residents. The next aspect, again, is our education and outreach. We do fairs, we're tabling at events, we're making sure that information is getting out to our residents. We have information in Spanish, English, we make sure that everything is going out so that our residents understand the options and the pathways that they have, which leads me to our last part, is our partnerships. So we partner with two big organizations that are of note, which is the Childhood Lead Action Project and the Rhode Island Housing Lead Safe Homes Program. So the Rhode Island Housing Program, it's a really big program that we love here in Central Falls. They offer money to landlords here in Central Falls to get lead abatement work done. We make sure that that's out there to landlords. A lot of people don't know that this program exists, and it's a big help. We've seen people get new doors, new windows once they go through this program, and again, we get those lead certificates, which is what this program is all about, is making sure our houses are safe. And with the Childhood Lead Action Project, that is another point of our education and our outreach. We work with them with providing training to residents, contractors, and landlords. We send people their way, community outreach, door knocking. So we partner with them in various different ways as that. And so all this work that we've been doing, we've only been doing it for 4 years. And in those 4 years, we have had over 1,250 units that have been brought into compliance, which is roughly 15% of the housing stock here in Central Falls. We have sent over 557 letters of the first notice of violation, which we were talking about earlier, and we have had over 302 cases we successfully abated in our housing court. And so this is all work that we have done, and our success doesn't stop there. We've had legislative advocacy, which our office had worked with the Attorney General Peter Neronha. In 2023, we passed the lead law package, which had included rental registry, and it included the treble damages for tenants who had faced lead poisoning or some sort of damage from lead related. We also had a community impact. Again, over 1,250 units have gotten lead certificates because of this program. We hosted our first ever National Lead Poisoning Prevention Week event, where we had over 20 kids tested with Dr. Nelkin, Jenks Parks Pediatrics, right across the street. And we also participated in the back to school celebration, where we had over 35 kids tested at that event, making sure that our kids are safe here in Central Falls. And it's not only here that we're recognized, we were recognized by the Childhood Lead Action Project. Our mayor, she was recognized as a lead hero for the work that she's been doing. And we were recognized by the Roger Williams School of Law as champions of justice because of the success of the program that we have going on here. But we don't do it all alone. And again, so some of the partners that we have, which would be helpful for you guys to know as you're talking to your constituents, we work with, again, the Childhood Lead Action Project, Rhode Island Housing Lead Safe Homes, which is the money that goes to landlords to get their houses up to date. We work with various community health centers like Blackstone Valley Community Health Care, Jenks Pediatrics, and again, we just make sure that we have resources for our constituents, our residents here in Central Falls, whether it's for lead or housing. So we also work with Progreso Latino and making sure that they get whatever it is that they're missing and that they need. And so how can you help as city councilors here in the city of Central Falls? Again, our main goal is education and making sure that the word gets out. So if you guys can just support with community awareness, encourage constituents to attend our programs, facilitate connections with businesses or landlords who need information or just don't know where to go, if you can just send them our way, help promote our legislative actions, and again, engage our residents. We want to encourage constituents to get their homes and their children tested, and we want to promote enrollment in our abatement projects and make sure that we're getting the word out there because it makes a difference. And now I'm going to introduce Deanne. She is from one of our partners, the Childhood Lead Action Project. She's going to talk a little bit about the frequently asked questions that she has gotten doing this work, talking to constituents, that maybe hopefully will help with some questions you may have. And so Deanne.
Hello, everyone. I'm from the Childhood Lead Action Project, as Heidi said, and we are a nonprofit organization in Rhode Island dedicated to the elimination of lead poisoning through parent support, education, and advocacy. So something that we do is we receive lots of calls from people all over the state, many times their parents, and they can be tenants or landlords or homeowners with no rented properties. And we answer all kinds of questions about lead. So I just wanted to point out some frequently asked questions, especially because these are things that many people are wondering about, and perhaps your constituents might have questions about them as well. So first, lots of times people don't even know what lead is, but once they find out, they might ask, how do I know if there's lead in my home? In homes built before 1978, there's likely to be lead paint, but it is possible to live in a lead-safe home as long as it is intact, the paint. So when people say, oh, how do I remove all the lead from my house? You don't have to remove all of it as long as it is safe. And so a lead inspection is done to determine whether or not a home is lead safe. And that is a requirement for landlords. So if you're renting out properties, renting out any units, landlords need to disclose that there might be lead if it was built before 1978 and make sure that there is a lead certificate. They only last for 1 or 2 years, so you want to keep renewing that lead certificate to ensure that as time goes on, the paint is still safe. And then kind of on the tenant side, if tenants know that there is no lead certificate, what can they do? They should inform their landlord in writing about the lack of a certificate and request an inspection. And many tenants are kind of afraid to ruffle feathers or make any kind of a big deal with their landlords. So they have the right to lead-safe housing, and they have a right to not be retaliated against for making a complaint. Of course, they can, if they have questions, they can call us. We're kind of like a less official person to talk to, but they can also contact the city, who is very helpful. Shout out to the city. Or a lawyer, where there's free legal help available through a few different places. And then lastly, because it is tax season, some resources available for getting lead work done for homeowners. I know a lot of homeowners right now are trying to get their lead work done to help with the rental registry. There's financial assistance, as Heidi already mentioned, through the Rhode Island Housing Program, but also there is a lead abatement tax credit. So if you've done work in the calendar year, you can get a few $1,000s back per unit. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's all the information we have. So hopefully we've been able to help you. And if any of your constituents comes and asks you some questions, you can always refer them to our office. We can always refer them to CLAB. If you ever have any questions about lead or anything, you know, our office is open and our line of communication is open. Just wanted to put here some contact information. So it's myself, Annette Martinez, who is our housing inspector, and of course we do all this work under the city solicitor, Matt Jerzik. So if you have any other questions or anything, please feel free to reach out, and I'd be more than happy to provide information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That presentation was great, very informative. So I heard you say that there's financial assistance for like correcting or taking corrective action for lead, but is there a cost to the actual certificate?
So there is a cost. I know it depends on the inspector because they are private. So it depends how much that inspector. I've seen people say that the cost can go between $150 to $200 per unit, but again, it depends on who the inspector is that you call.
Is it that you're paying for the inspector to inspect them and give the certificate, or you're paying for the certificate?
You pay for the inspector to inspect, and then they give you a certificate.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. Home occupied dwellings, owner occupied dwellings, if they have a rental, I was told that that's kind of exempt.
No, so as of last year, it is not exempt anymore. Before it was an exemption, but now even if it is owner occupied and it's a rental unit, you do need a certificate.
You did a great job. You ought to do commercials.
Thank
I'll
you
tell
so
you,
much,
you got a
Council
lot in
President.
a very short time. And anytime you come, there's no rush. Take all the time for that. I'm trying to take a breath, but you'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Anyone else? Thank you so much.
if I just
Yeah,
make
go
a
ahead,
comment,
sure.
I just think that, I congratulate them on the work that they're doing because it's, their numbers are there and it's really impressive. That you're, all the work that you're doing in the community. Thank you.
Just want to interject, I know that the chips, the paint chips are a big problem with the little baby driving. I know that. Thank you again. Would the city clerk make note that Councilman Piero is independent now?
I have Councilman Piero arriving at 6:10. Next item on the agenda under new business is item B, City Council sitting as Board of License Commissioners, hearing and consideration of petition of license. We have Venderly Holding LLC doing business as Venderly Restaurant, 765 Broad Street, Central Falls. This is Philip Samito and his wife over here. They're applying for an entertainment.
I believe it. This is actually a transfer, isn't it?
Council President, if I may, Vanderly Holding is also applying for, they're also under advertising hearing consideration of transfer of alcoholic beverage class B victualling license. They're,
Move it up.
President can ask to do without objection.
So I'll make a motion to, move item.
it's item 3.
Your item 3 under new business, to the top of the agenda.
So in addition to the entertainment license, they're also here for a transfer of alcoholic beverage class B victualling license from 765 Lounge LLC, doing business as 765 Lounge, 765 Broad Street, Central Falls, to Venderly Holding LLC, doing business as Venderly Restaurant, 765 Broad Street, Central Falls.
Yeah, that's the item. I'd like to move to the top of the agenda. Need a second in order to move on.
We have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Can say the,
So you're Anna and Felix, correct?
Correct.
And Jose is the transferee, I assume.
Yes, it's transferred.
And you're not changing much anyway, correct?
No, just the name.
That's great. Has everyone reviewed that application? They're basically just changing the name.
yeah, I just want to say congratulations, because I know you were the previous owners, and then I love to see that you're getting it back. So, yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you all.
Welcome back, Anna. Thank you. I'm here for anything that you need to know. Okay?
Thank you so much.
So, motion to approve.
Yeah, so I make a motion to approve the entertainment. Can we do both collectively? Okay, so I make a motion to.
Motion to approve, second. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Figueroa, Councilperson Diana?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa? Yes. Councilperson David Lugo?
Yes.
And Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Perry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
That's a lot, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Council President, I ask if we can, in moving forward, for these entertainment license, we also have Paradise Lounge, which, I'm sorry, and,
Salinas,
in Salinas, but if we can combine Paradise Lounge with the alcoholic beverage, because we're also fine with it.
the applicants.
So the next item on the agenda is entertainment license, Paradise Lounge LLC, doing business as Paradise Lounge, 200 Cross Street, Central Falls, Ms. Ana Tavares. We're also doing a transfer.
Transfers from,
So, transfer of alcoholic beverage Class B victualling license from Salinas Lounge LLC, doing business as Salinas Lounge, 200 Cross Street, to Paradise Lounge LLC, doing business as Paradise Lounge, 200 Cross Street. We also have a contact here, Mr. Antonio Rivera, I think Mr. Rivera could attend, correct?
He's after the most.
so you need a motion to approve them collectively.
Correct.
Both the transactions collectively, the motion.
To approve or to hear?
Here.
I think first we need to change the agenda. So, I'll make a motion to hear them collectively. I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Now we're looking for a motion for if you could please introduce yourself, name and address.
Anna Marie Tavares at 63 Boulevard, Central Falls.
Can you tell us a little bit about the operation?
Paradise Lounge is going to bring in Latino Caribbean Americans to pose in a safe environment, adults, a safe environment for them to go and have a good time and enjoy themselves.
And people might have some cross street, correct?
Yes,
Cross street, I'll forget this street.
yes.
Used to be, Ambrose Buffet many years ago, he was a council person actually. Any questions of the applicant?
This was Bucal, that's,
I'm sorry?
it used to be called Bucal, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, before. So I went in the space and it's like complete transformation. It looks so good in there.
Thank you.
I did have one question, for the clerk.
Yes.
And it just, on the application, the Department of Code Enforcement, it seems like it's crossed out, but for the other application, it was actually filled out. For the vendor application, it was filled out. So it's just, I don't know if that's a signature, but it looks just like a.
It might be a signature.
Oh, okay, cause since it was different than the other one, I'm like, I don't know.
Depends on the sign off.
Wiggle. I wasn't sure if it was a signature, or if it was crossed out, so that's what I was asking.
Excuse me, I'm Andrew Kagan, the attorney for the applicant. I just wanna make sure that the issuance of the liquor license would be concurrent with the sale of the property, which should be within a week, a couple of weeks.
So noted.
Yeah.
So noted in the minutes.
Do you want to propose a specific date?
If you could
Because,
please,
well, the sales agreement provides that, it will close upon the expiration of the appeal period, which I believe is 10 days. So presumably presumably we'll be closing in about 2 weeks.
So the city law allows you to pick up the license within 30 days after approval, so that should give you enough time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions of the applicant? Hearing none, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move to approve, of the entertainment and decoration club.
Motion by Councilman, second by, any further discussion? So it's so noted that we do have 30 days to complete the transaction. Roll call vote?
Councilperson Baena? Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Councilperson Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, best of luck.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the Class C variety Plaza Convenience LLC doing business at Sunshine Market, 118 Washington Street, Central Falls, Rhode Island. We do have the owner, Mr. Roger, and the adopter.
Thank you, Brian. This is, just a renewal. I know we never had problems over there. It's clean around the area too, thank you. Any questions? Looking for a motion to approve the renewal.
Second. The motion for approval.
Second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Councilperson Baena?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Councilperson Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Keep up the good work, I know.
Thank you, very good job.
It's nice and clean around.
The next item on the agenda is a second-hand pawnbroker renewal. It's Fall River Financial Rhode Island LLC, doing business as Fall River Pawnbroker, 400 Dexter Street, Central Falls, Rhode Island, 12863. We have the owner, Mr. Paul Bryant. Mr. Bryant? It appears he's not attending. He was contacted to be here, but this is a renewal, so he's technically, we don't require that.
For a motion, same thing, I don't believe we've had any problems, with the pawn shop. Cleanliness or any other problems.
Make the motion, please.
Rivas, approve, do we have any second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Again, it's only renewal and we haven't heard of any problems. Roll call vote?
Councilperson Baena?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is another renewal. It's constable renewal for Ms. Annette Martinez, 59 Field Street, Central Falls.
Again, it's just a renewal, technically we could do it directly. Look for a motion to approve the constable licenses, the renewals collectively.
Need a motion.
Second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote?
Councilperson Baena?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
My quick question, are all renewals up at the same time or depending on the?
So the renewals that you had previously the sea variety and the pawnbrokers. The sea variety missed the deadline, and the pawnbroker, the computer never generated a letter from him, he never received the renewal, that's why he came in late. The constables, they renew now, so they can commence. The next item on the agenda under 4 is advertising and hearing consideration of new alcoholic beverage Class B limited license for Mi Pequeño Salvadorino Inc., doing business as Mi Pequeño Salvadorino, 791 Longdale Ave, Central Falls. Contacted Mr. Pedro Acevedo, which I believe I saw Mr. Acevedo.
So, good evening. Good. Has everybody reviewed the application? Are there any questions of the applicant? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilperson Moreno,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Perry.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Yes. Are you ready to go right now?
Okay, good luck.
Thanks.
Council President, if I may, I just, I guess I wanted to ask and sort of suggest, that we make sure that on all of the applications, whether it's a liquor or entertainment, that the checkboxes are checked off. I think it's just a matter of, covering ourselves, unless we're assuming that because they're signing, they're attesting to the statements that are there, but not all of the applications have the checkboxes checked off.
Well, I think because I think there's 3 of them, and if it's not new, they don't check off new.
No, I mean, cause there's like three statements, that are there, so there's like, I understand this application is considering completing with until all the state approvals, permits, and licenses and insurance coverage are filed with the office of city clerk. I acknowledge that I'm over the age of 18, and I declare under the pains and penalties of perjury and all other remedies at law that I have reviewed this form and the statements I have made in it, and declare that they are true. And so those 3 checkboxes are not always checked off in the applications. So I don't know if you're assuming that because it's signed, that's just kind of the assumption, it's signed, so they're attesting to those statements, or if we should make sure, and it's more from, I guess the spirit of it is that we should be covering them. So it's just a suggestion, so we can make sure that we're just covered, I mean, they're there for a reason, so.
We will address it with our office to ensure that that doesn't happen. The next item on the agenda, number 7, is schedule bills, hearings, and consideration in ordinance regarding court sessions of municipal court, first reading.
And all signed up. Public hearing now closed. I can explain quickly, it's just, I introduced, that's just so, that traffic court would be guaranteed 1 Tuesday a month to meet. And that wasn't in the charter that way, so we put that, is that correct?
I'm sorry,
time, Mr.
So
President.
they would meet one Tuesday a month in the traffic law.
Yes, Mr. President, this was the request 2 years ago, and then the city instituted the red light and speed camera program, and both the judge and the police department were interested to see how the increased foot traffic would present itself with the new programs. And after about a year of analysis, they determined that one meeting a month would be adequate, and at the same time, we have now hired court interpreters. So the judge can use discretion to add more court dates as necessary, specifically for Spanish or Portuguese language trials as well. This change gives you the flexibility, gives them the flexibility to do that.
Is there further discussion?
I have a couple of questions, Mr. President. So one of the questions is, since there will be less meetings, will there be a change in budget for the judges? Well, I guess they have discretion, so maybe there'll be more meetings, I'm not sure, but just kind of wanted to ask about that, since it seems like there'll be less.
That's a good question, Councilman. I guess as it's implemented, it'll be a new budget season, and that probably raise out the fiscal 26 budget.
Thank you. And then the other question I had was section 1447 that talks about the judge, and section 1448 that talks about the clerk and associate judge. Part B, it says that the judge and the associate judge shall be appointed by the city council at its first regular meeting in January of each odd number year. And we had one last week, so this is technically our second meeting. So wondering if that, I guess, are we appointing a new judge? Are we appointing a new associate judge, since it is an odd number year and it is a second meeting in January?
Yes, Councilman, under city law, you have effectively this month, moving forward, the opportunity to replace the judges that currently sit in both of those positions, or by no action, you're letting them continue. But either of those choices are choices of the council.
Got it, okay. I wanted to ask, since it is part of the, part of the ordinance, it does include that, so I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other questions? Roll call vote?
Looking for a motion.
I make the motion to approve the ordinance regarding split sessions of municipal court.
Councilwoman Day. Raphael and Alberto. Roll call vote?
Councilperson Baena?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Teguero?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Perry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. The next item under 7, under B, is under 7 with scheduled bills and hearings and consideration is ordinance B, requiring the timelines of claims against the city. First reading presented by Councilman Perry.
Yeah, I presented that because we had that case where the applicant waited a long time before they filed the claim. So now they get 7 days to get the claim, and then I think they get a whole month to gather information about that claim. So within 7 days of whether they hit a pothole or where it might be, they get 7 days to apply down the city clerk's office for a claim, and then they get 30 days to put together, if you want to call it a case or whatever. As would give the city time also to, the public works or the police department to get their facts together. So that's the reason I thought we could make it.
I have a clarifying question, Mr. President, because, on section 2314, B, it says that all damage claims against the city, excluding potholes, should be filed with the city clerk within 30 days. So I think the potholes are 7 days based on this, but the other, okay, that's not what the ordinance is.
Yes, Mr. President, because pothole claims
that's right.
are governed by state law,
That's right, yeah.
subsection C does require pothole claims to be filed within 7 days. That's actually a requirement of state law. And non-pothole claims within 30 days.
So after that happened with, we made sure we did comply with the state, and that's the reason. Any other questions regarding that?
I think this ordinance makes a lot of sense, and ensures that, you know, what it says in the title, that there's timeliness, within the claims. And then, I guess, and additionally to that, right, just making, I just wanna urge, that we also, ensure that proper documentation is done, just because if we recall from our last meeting, there, or maybe 2 meetings ago, I can't remember, but, there was an instance where we called the police officer who went on the scene, and, you know, I think the Department of Public Works didn't have record of work being done on Cowden Street, but then the police officer did confirm that there was work done, or that there was a pothole on Cowden Street, and so just making sure to cover ourselves again, that there is proper documentation. I don't know if this can be instituted at the police level, but if, you know, if there could be maybe photos taken to supplement the report, and then also on the Department of Public Works side, making sure that the work orders are documented.
So, well, we had two cases. One, fortunately, the police officer, did have it on fire and a major fall that night. And the other one, the Department of Public Works did have a record of having a crew in that area. So that was two separate incidents, which fortunately the city was covered, we had record on it.
Right, so but in the case that we called the police officer, I, specifically recall that, I think it was the clerk that said that speaking with the Department of Public Works, there was no work order for that pothole on Cowden Street, and that's when we called the police officer. So all I'm saying is that if we could make sure that there's proper documentation, so that we don't have to do the back and forth of like call a police officer and all that.
I agree, but the other incident, we paid them because there was, we had no proof either. But the one where we called the police, the major police station was on fire, and I know we had a work order on fire. So that was two separate cases, so fortunately we had that one covered.
Excuse me, Council President, if I could.
Yeah.
Based upon your concern, I'll send an email tomorrow morning from this one forward, anytime some potholes or any other city damage or tree limbs, that's automatically taken. Potholes genuinely don't, but I'll make sure it's done.
And sometimes the constituent takes a picture.
Yeah, no,
right?
absolutely.
But sometimes they don't, so.
Yep, no, I will, I'll make sure it's taken care of. Okay?
But the good part is the time frame. That's the key, that was our hang up, the time frame. The actual,
Oh, yeah, no, I totally agree. So we just have to be responsible for ways, right?
Need a motion?
So I'll make a motion to, approve the ordinance.
Motion by Councilman Grant, second by Councilman Carroll. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Brennan?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Mr. President, before adjournment, I wanted to make, a note of personal expression or opinion. Just wondering, we do have a seventh council member, Ms. Velez. Have not seen her. I don't know if anybody has heard from her, but just wondering if anybody has heard from her and if we are expecting her, or like what sort of the process would be should she not fulfill her duties.
Well, yeah, Matt, I was just gonna ask you about, has she been sworn in yet?
Mr. President, I would just say that normally points of personal expression are limited to issues related to you as a councilwoman,
Okay.
issues, congratulations you'd like to give
Okay.
or receive. It seems like a fairly substantive matter, and I think it would be appropriate for the council to add that to the agenda if you'd like to discuss it as it is an issue of substance.
That would be great, and we can add it for next time. I'm not, it's not a rush, but, and thank you for clarifying what that meant. I just thought it was something that I could say that wasn't on the agenda, so that's helpful, to know. But yeah, if we can maybe add it for next meeting, so that way everyone has time to maybe think about and we can have a further discussion, that would be helpful. Or maybe we can, I've reached out to her personally a couple of times, but I haven't heard back. Maybe we can all try to reach out and see if she's okay. So, but yeah, just wanted to ask how we move forward if someone doesn't show up for their meeting.
Thank you for clarifying that, City Solicitor. Thank you, appreciate it. With that, we're for a motion to adjourn, I assume.
So moved.
Time on the clock is still on.
Six.
6:56. We adjourn at 6:56. Thanks.
All right, thank you. You too, Perez. You too.
You guys got going on.
Everybody, that side. I did hard because I didn't have a logo. So I was like, why am I going to open my thing empty? And then when I come here, everybody was just.
Thank you, Ray. I think your advice and,
Okay. Let me do some research. I can have you next week.
She had a dog for years ago. The woman zipping around.
yeah, one day we go up the stairs and then.
Yeah.
What happened today?
I will find out. Yeah. It's been a few years, but. The best ones, honestly, University of Oakland.
Llegar a
Everything, or
Llegar a
the other big one is Portable.
Porque de hoy yo no sé nada. Pero hoy no trabajé.
You'll feel something better.
Now that he's elected official.
That's like this.
Started raising the like sartorial.
I don't have my.
We'll have a great day. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mayor.
I love it.